I would probably choose that question if I saw the questions. Whoa. Honestly, I'm just ready for other people to like hear it. Prime Beatles. I think he muttered a few things under his breath, but that was such a pivotal part or theme in the album, is like respecting those parts of myself.
Hi guys, welcome to the latest edition of 7 of 30, the only show where I find out what the questions are at exactly the same time as our guest does. You know the rules by now. We've got 30 questions directly in front of me. Our guest is going to pick 7 completely at random, and that will make up their mystery interview. And our guest today, debut solo album just around the corner. We're going to get into all of that and so much more with Mr. Calum Hood. Yeah, you hear that roar. Hear that roar of approval back home.
I like the concept.
It's a nice concept, man.
The concept's great.
I like to mix it up for you, have a little bit of fun. It's all good. But anyway, welcome back to the UK, man. Let's start right there.
Thank you.
Before we get into the mystery questions, very exciting time to catch up, man. Debut solo album just around the corner. On the promo trail, people started to hear it. I guess let's start nice and easy. How you feeling, man? Is it nerve-wracking? Is it excitement? How you feeling about this next big step for you?
Every day feels a little bit different. Yesterday I was probably myself, but today I feel pretty good. I feel
nice.
like, I think I just decided that I love the album, and I'm just ready for it to be honestly, I'm just ready for other people to like hear it other than myself, so it must get to that stage where you are just dying to get it out to the world when you've lived with it for this long as you have. I think it's been a long time in the process, 2.5 years pretty much.
Wow.
So and I mean, I've listened to the song so much, so I'm like teetering on the edge of insanity. Nice to be here.
Good to finally get them out. Well, nice to have you in the UK as well, because that is something that struck me. I'm sure people have heard the record may have said this, but also anyone who's heard the singles off the album already. It does feel like it's a bit of a UK influence, and there's a little post-punk, there's a little kind of that 80s new wave sound about it. Did you feel that any kind of UK influences coming into that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely more like UK European alternative pop band leaning. Bands like, I love Block Party. I don't know whether all the songs on the record had influence, but definitely like songs like Call Me When You Know Better have that in it. And bands like the Radio Department, Phoenix definitely came into play during it, talking about them a lot. Yeah, Phoenix
are a phenomenal band. Absolutely love Phoenix. I'm glad to see them kind of getting props there. It's really, really good. I'm sure you've been asked this a million times already, but this is something I've asked a couple of you guys when we talk about the various solo projects from the band. But why now, I guess? Why did it feel now was the right time for you to actually step out, try something a little bit different and outside of the band like this?
Yeah, I think it's been on my mind, crammed all the way in the back for so long, and seeing the other guys release records, Ash and Luke kind of paved the way for me and Mike to kind of be able to see how it worked and see how it affected like the dynamics of the band. And I think they did such a great job kind of pioneering it not adversely affecting the band in a negative way. If anything, like I noticed them become just greater artists and songwriters. So that was like put my mind at ease a little bit, but I just waited so long just because I wanted to know. I kind of asked myself like, well, why are you doing this? Like, what's the reason? Like, are you panicking because other guys are releasing records? Are you trying to prove something to yourself? And I had to wait until I was just sure that I was like, I'm doing it because I'm am an artist, and this is what I love to do, and this is my livelihood. This is such a big part of my purpose of being on Earth. So that's why I waited until I did.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes a lot of sense. It feels like a very cohesive piece of work. Like I say, it flows very nicely. All those influences you can really hear, and it's nice to hear you try and move into those kind of different soundscapes and different spaces like that. Tell me a bit about the album title as well, Order, Chaos, Order. I mean, I see you spoke a little bit about it on social media and stuff, but it does seem to sum up the world in many ways right now.
Yeah, they're kind of, it's like the cycle of how everything is going, especially now. I think there's the two halves of myself are like, very gentle, very kind, the higher self or whatever you want to call it. And then there's the other side, which is like more of the shadow self. And it's more, it's more critical, it's more hardened, desensitized. And that kind of is a play on that, where like they both will kind of always exist and they'll always coexist, and neither are negative or positive, because without one there is not the other. And I think it's just, that was such a pivotal part or theme in the album, is like respecting those parts of myself and being able to you know, put them both in a light where I found them just really useful in getting to know myself better.
Yeah, 100%. It's interesting as well, like, even outside of this project, I was chatting to Michael recently about this, actually, the fact that obviously you were a co-writer on his first step into the solo world with Cool. And that strikes me as very interesting because, of course, that's someone you're incredibly comfortable writing with, but in a completely different environment. So did knowing that you were writing for something that wasn't going to be a part of the band, but working together, did that change how you write together? Did it change the process at all? Or was it just, you know, songwriting, see where it goes?
No, I think, like, he very much led that song anyway. And, like, my involvement was kind of like, I came in a little bit later and just kind of helped maybe with a couple words. Honestly, it wasn't like he very much pioneered that song, and that song kind of, like, really spoke to where he was in his artist journey at that moment. But I don't think, like, in any capacity, I don't think it would change too much with the lads. Like, if we were in a room, like, if I was lucky enough to get in any of the rooms for their solo projects, like, I think it'd just feel like, I mean, it just feels like we're in the band anyway, because that's what it is. So I'm really, I mean, he showed me his record, and just feels like meeting him again as well, you know, for the first time. And same with the other lads. It feels like I get to learn something new about them, which is really cool as just a friend of theirs. So
it's a really lovely, unique position you guys are in, because I would say exactly the same thing about your record here. It's showing off different sides of your personality that we haven't seen before, and what a lovely thing to be able to do that, but also it not be detrimental to the band at all. It's like, that's such a rare position. I'm sure you guys must have discussed, but really appreciate the fact that, what a luxury to be able to do that.
I feel like we don't bring it up too much, just in case it jinxes us.
But, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. But you're right. It's super special, and I think we do realize that it might be a rarity. I think it might be becoming more common, though, as
hopefully,
as time goes on. But I think we're definitely, I mean, we're just trying to push the boundaries in any which way that we can. And I think because of just the band that we are, we all sing, we all write, we all play our instruments, we all have visions of, like, what we want to be as artists. Like, I think it would be detrimental if we weren't doing the solo projects rather than the other way around, which is a bit strange. But new territory. So just kind of testing the waters, and then, you know, seeing what happens.
Yeah, seeing what happens. Well, speaking to that, live shows, I mean, are you thinking about what a solo Calum live show might appear like, how it might develop, how a tour kind of might... I mean, that's been a thing with the band, especially in recent years, the big theming around it, really kind of helping kind of almost tell a story within it in some ways. Is that a kind of thing you're thinking about with how to present these songs live?
Yeah, I'm doing a couple kind of stripped back shows that'll just be me on piano and, like, with some looping pedals and stuff like that. And that's just because, you know, there's already other stuff going on in my band life as well. So that's probably an appropriate amount of work for me to be able to, like, execute well, instead of doing the whole full band show. I think I'm definitely going to wait until the next record to be able to play, you know, at least an hour. I don't know what it's going to be like, I'll be honest with you. I'm not really sure. That's what a lot of this has been, is like, I don't really know, but I'm just going to do it and see what happens.
Sometimes that's the best way. Exploratory. Just figure it out as you go, and then see what clicks in the best possible way. 21 Pilots are on the cover of the latest edition of Rock Sound as we celebrate a decade of their landmark album Blurryface. And to really celebrate, we've put together a special tribute album, Blurryface Reborn. It features artists including James Marriott, Royal and the Serpent, AWOL Nation, Arrows in Action, and loads more. You can get the full album exclusively with your copy of Rock Sound, so make sure you pre-order yours today at shop.rocksound.tv. Let's get into your mystery questions, shall we? So, like I said up top, the way this works is I have 30 questions in front of me. Some are about music, some are about life, universe, and everything.
Cool.
All I need you to do right now is pick for me 7 numbers between 1 and 30. So when you're ready, 7 numbers. Off you go.
Okay, we'll go with 1
okay.
and 30.
Okay, straight in. Nice bookending.
1 and 30. We'll split down the middle. We'll go 15. And then my lucky numbers would be 7,
Yep.
11, 17.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do one in the 20s. We'll do... My birthday's 25, so we'll go 25.
25. Okay, we've got 1, 7, 11, 15, 17, 25, and 30. You want to go big number to small number or the other way around?
Big number to small
Big
number.
number to small. Everyone always says that. I don't know why. It's interesting.
It's
Mixing it
way
up. All right, well, in that case, we are starting with question number 30. What would you ever ask if you met the devil? What would you ask?
Whoa.
Yeah, we're starting big. There we go.
Look, if I'm meeting the devil, I've probably done some shifty. I'll be honest. Look, dude, I don't know. I think I'd be. First of all, I'd probably ask, do I know anyone here?
Oh, that's not a bad question.
Oh well, this would be in hell. Da, da, da. The second, I'd probably ask, how are you doing, man? Like, everyone's got this preconceived notion of you, but like, how are you actually feeling? Third. Question I'd ask, maybe we go for a pint. You want to go for a pint?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, a pint with the devil would be a fascinating one for sure. What do you reckon the devil would order at a bar? I can't quite picture it.
Maybe gin martinis. Probably, let's go softer side to him for sure.
Yeah, quite possibly. What's your bar order these days, actually, out of curiosity?
I'm on the red wines at the moment.
Oh, very nice.
I'll be a bit cheeky, but
Yeah. Are you becoming a bit of a wine guy or just...
I'm trying.
Yeah. It's genuinely on my list of things I would love to know more about. I just don't.
Yeah, I'm a Pinot guy.
Nice.
What are you?
Yeah, again, just like
red.
Yeah, just that's it. Like I'm a big whiskey guy, but like I need to get on more. I just every time I see someone with knowledge of wine, I'm a bit jealous of that.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice feeling being with those people for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Expanding the palate. and all that
Exactly.
kind of
That's
thing.
what they
There
say.
you go. Especially if you've got the devil in the room, that'll work. All right, number 25. I love this one. Best and worst experience in a mosh pit. Now, I guess this could be you watching a gig or something you've maybe seen when you guys have been playing. Any kind of mosh pit memories there?
Yeah, I mean, always when we go to South America, there's always like, it's simultaneously the best and worst thing because everyone sways a lot as well, and I'm like, oh, that's really sick, and then it gets to a point where I'm like, oh, you guys are swaying a lot, like this could be really dangerous, and then I think I was in the pit for Green Day, same thing. Best and worst. This is awesome. Then you get like an armpit to the face, and you're like, "This is disgusting." So they're my two, I think.
Man, I remember we were talking a little bit about this last time we chatted around the 25 years of rock sound stuff. But like the fact that you are now in a position where the band is playing shows with a band like Green Day, who I know you all grew up listening to and like admired. I mean, it's got to be mind blowing to be able to be on the same stages as people like that.
I mean, yeah, they were the first band that I kind of like took action for. Like I downloaded illegally the songs and burnt the CDs, so they were the first band that made me like want to do something to like listen to them because I just loved that American Idiot album. So a lot of pinch me moments with especially that gig.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, it's interesting saying about South American crowds as well, as it won't surprise you, a lot of artists cite obviously South America, always amazing shows. Anywhere else in the world though that you always think, oh, that's what I'm really looking forward to getting over there because those crowds are wild.
Always. I feel like Manchester's always really good. Manchester, like Leeds, is always really good. Places in Europe is like Italy. Italy's been amazing. Parts of Scandinavia is amazing. And yeah, Australia's always usually. I mean, hometown gig is always special. Yeah,
there's something about Manchester. Right? Musical history in that city, I guess. Maybe it's that. I don't know.
Yeah, they just have they got a lust for the great music and great live music as well. So yeah, they got
always go for it. Always go for it. Good to see you back in the UK playing those shows. Always makes sense. Okay, let's do number 17. What do you think the world will be like in 100 years? God, we picked some big ones on this one.
What will it be like in 100 years? You know what? I think it'll be better than what it is now.
That's a nice answer.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it'll be better, yeah. I think there's a lot, especially for music as well, I think there's a lot of great music coming from the younger generations. I think bands are kind of slowly on the resurgence. I think we're on the tip of the cycle of where bands are coming back. As for the infrastructure of the world, I'm not so sure. I'll leave that up to them. Yeah, that won't be my problem anymore.
That's very true. That is one way of looking at it for sure. It's interesting to think about it from a musical perspective, though, because first of all, you're absolutely right. Bands, it feels like kids are forming more bands than ever. I wonder, is that... My theory is it's just a kind of longing for connection in a lot of ways, especially, how crazy the world's been in the last few years. I feel like people wanting to pick up instruments and just have that kind of group community mentality.
Yeah.
But it's interesting you've noticed that too. It does really feel like it's expanding, and more bands kind of emerging than ever, right?
Yeah, I think it's totally cyclical, and especially we're in a period of where times are a bit strange, and I think from that friction, a lot of great just art in general kind of emerges from that. So I think we'll get some really we'll get a lot of classics in this generation, these younger generations for sure.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It's interesting as well how, I remember when you guys were starting, obviously YouTube was such a massive tool for you guys getting noticed in the first place. It's so funny, isn't it, how even in this, I guess, relatively short period of time, how much that's expanded and changed, where there's so many different avenues for bands to kind of get noticed online now and kind of really just start up in a really DIY sense, right?
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people are kind of being drawn to authenticity more than ever, is because the secret. There is no real secret or formula nowadays. I think people have figured out marketing is such a huge strategy. So I think people are really gravitating towards real great artists who are making great music. You can kind of see through it a little bit more. So yeah.
I think you're right. That brings it right back to your record as well, though, isn't it? Because I imagine for all you guys, but particularly for yourself, as we're talking about this, it sounds like you weren't going to do a solo record for the sake of it, right? It had to have that authenticity. It had to have a kind of reason to exist before you're going to embark on something like this, because it's work too, right? You don't want to invest in something if it doesn't feel authentic to you.
Yeah, I think that was part of the deal I made with myself. It just needed to be honest, really.
Yeah,
that's
honesty.
Yeah.
Fair play. It makes a lot of sense for sure. Let's do question number 15 right in the middle here. Tell us about a song you never finished but wish you had. Guess it could be solo or the band.
There's so many with the band. It's kind of hard because it's going to sound insane, but there's so many great songs that we have that just never left the Dropbox. And it's kind of even hard to really remember any of them. So maybe that's not the case.
maybe the answer is no. Yeah.
I think there'll probably be. We're working on stuff now, and it's really sad to say that there's probably going to be a lot that'll be left out that I really adore. But yeah, I don't know.
That's a nice problem to have, having too many songs to pick from, though. You'd rather that way round, surely.
Yeah, I'm so close to it. I'm in the bubble anyway, so it's hard to tell whether they're, great songs. I think I just really love what we're doing at the moment, so.
Nice. Was there anyone you worked with? Because I know, obviously, especially in the early days, you had so many amazing co-writers you were able to bring in and learn from and all that stuff. Is there anyone that you just kind of had a session with, you thought that was really cool, but for whatever reason we never heard it? Anyone you kind of worked with there?
Oh, we never heard it. That happens a lot.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah.
It happens a lot where it's that was cool. And sometimes you both can kind of you'll just be should we just go get lunch? Or go for
yeah, fair enough.
Go for it. I think when early days that used to be kind of the let's leave is should we just maybe go to the pub and we'll come back and write the bridge, and that was we're done. Yeah. We're done here.
At least you're all on the same page. That works well. That works
sure.
well. How about this? Are there any songs from the kind of 5 Sauce back catalog where you thought, man, I wish that'd get its flowers a little bit more? That's like a favorite that just never, maybe a B-side or something that maybe people just don't know as well.
Yeah. I probably my favorite 5 Seconds of Summer song is a song called No Shame.
Right.
That was on our Calm album. And I was just so certain. I was it's going to be huge. And it was big, and it's huge in our community. But I think I saw it all unveiling and opening every door for us. But I absolutely love that song. There's a song called When You Walk Away from our third record that's on like a Target exclusive that I love as well. And then, there's other songs that are like, probably shouldn't have done. Really, so.
Everyone's got a few of those. It's fine. And that'll be someone's favourite as well. That'll be some kid's favourite out there. Yeah, you just never know. You just never know, do you? Question number 11. What is the worst piece of advice you have ever received? Music related or not?
Worst piece of advice I have ever received. I mean, it would probably have to go with like something along the lines. I think we were told early in our career that, we'd also go to studios and there'd be no instruments.
Right.
And this was in like the time of like the 2010s, and like the 2010s pop era was a little cleaner in its, production style. And I think many guitars or bands were even coming through in terms of like popular culture or like pop. And I think a lot of people tried to tell us to essentially just drop the facade or whatever they wanted to call it, and just leave it up to, I guess, the synths and the drum tracks. And I'm glad that we held strong in our endeavor.
I mean, it's what made you stand out as well, in particular, but especially in that era. It's easy to forget. We were just talking about how there's so many bands out there now absolutely killing it. But back then, pop was very much the thing. You're absolutely right. But I think that's very much what made you guys stand out. You had the pop hooks there for sure. But a guitar-led band. Oh,
for sure. And now it's totally flipped on its head now. It's like guitars are like very much at the forefront of even a lot of pop records. So that's the start of that cycle. But I'm glad that we're, it's nice to be in this.
Yeah.
Nice to be here. But you're right. Yeah.
How about good advice? But I guess particularly as you're embarking on the solo stuff, is there any advice you've kind of got as you were taking this stage that's really stuck with you and really helped as you've worked on this latest project?
Yeah, I think I remember Joel Madden told me, those brothers are also just like walking, like Confucius, like
gurus,
quotes,
pop punk gurus.
And I think I said an idea in a songwriting room. This is like when I was very young, and everyone was like, yeah, we could take it or leave it. And then 10 minutes later, Joel said the same idea, and then everyone was like, wow, that's amazing. And I was like 10 minutes later, I was just kind of like, when it was a quiet moment, I went, I said that idea. And he goes, well, it's not how you might have said it, but you didn't really sell it. And I think that in a songwriting room, you need to have conviction and belief in your ideas, because you need to be a leader in the room.
Right.
And you need to have such an undying, there's space to be told otherwise, but I feel like that's something I've learned with my songwriting is I need to know what I like and what kind of things I want to create to be effective, because if you're kind of a bit wishy-washy, then no one will really buy into your idea.
Yeah, especially on a solo record. It's under your name. You want it to be, as we keep saying, authentic to yourself. You've got to make those ideas clear.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the big reasons of even doing it in the first place, is because I want more of that in myself in the Five Sauce writing rooms, for sure.
Yeah. No, interesting. Interesting to see how that one develops for your writing style in the future as well. Question number 7. Name a time for me that you got starstruck. You must have met 1,000,001 amazing people in the career so far, but any you were particularly starstruck by?
I met Dave Grohl.
That's a pretty big one in terms of rock superstars.
Yep, Dave Grohl. He played John Feldman in a game of pool backstage at the Forum. They bet $5 on it. Dave won.
Nice.
And he took the money. I was pretty. I was like, that's. I loved how he did that. I was like, I love how he actually took the $5. But I think I just kind of weirdly stared at him from a distance for, as long as that interaction played out. It's pretty sick.
John Feldman is one of the most competitive men I've ever met as well, so I doubt that went down.
Lovely
man, but I doubt that went down too well.
Yeah, I think he muttered a few things under his breath, but that was fun to watch.
More than fair. I mean, yeah, that's got to be the lovely thing, as I said earlier with the Green Day thing. It's you are at this stage now, especially with the band, where a lot of these artists that you're coming up with, I'm sure, admired musically, you can kind of call contemporaries. You're playing the same level of rooms, you're playing the same events. That's got to be a lovely thing. I'm sure you've had lots of those moments where you just get to, consider friends now, people you would have maybe looked up to in the past.
Oh, for sure. And I think, like, John's a huge one as well, just because as I've gotten older, I've also realized, like, how big a role his band played within the movement of punk.
Right.
And I think, like, for us, he's just kind of like a friend now, but like to see like the accolades or like what he's done for music culture as I've gotten older has been like a really, it's nice to also be like, wow, what you guys have done has been amazing, because there's no band or there's no me that exists without like a lot of our colleagues now, or a lot of our friends, for sure.
Yeah, it was nice to have someone like him, because he was obviously there right from the early days of your career, and just to have someone like that who's been through it all is very much a kind of mentor figure, I would say, right? He seems to do that all over the industry, really, Feldman. He's so good at kind of nurturing young talent and helping guide them into the industry in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and there's a lot of the kind of engineers and producers that he works with as well, especially on our first records, like Zach Savini and Matt Pauling, Colin Britton, who's like, we still work with Colin Britton now, and he plays in Linkin Park, which is insane. But that ecosystem that he has just kind of, it gives birth to a lot of just great creatives and great creatives who have done, gone on to be very successful. So it's cool that we're a part of that.
Yeah, definitely a great thing to be a part of that. Question number 1. What song would you like played at your funeral? Bit of a bleak question, but still, we can pick out a nice song.
No, I like this question.
Good, I'm glad.
This is the type of question I would probably choose that question if I saw the questions. What song would I like? It'd probably be Sunshine on Leith by the Proclaimers.
Oh, good man.
Yeah, it'd probably be that one. My dad showed me that song, and it just gets the heartstrings going, playing the heartstrings.
I'm an Edinburgh boy, you don't have to tell me, mate. There you go. It's coming through. That's the one.
Yeah, so one of those. That'll probably be the one.
I saw Mr. Robbie Williams on stage the other week, and he started singing that in Edinburgh, and he said, "This is a better song than You'll Never Walk Alone," and I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I'm a Hibs fan. My dad's a Hibs fan, Hibernian from Edinburgh, so that'll be one of the goals is to maybe sing that at Easter Road. So hopefully one day.
Have you managed? I mean, coming over to the UK, you must have managed to make it over to Easter Road a couple of times now, right?
I've never been.
Mate, we've got to sort that out.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man,
never been.
They'd give you the full tour, the full VIP tour. They'd love to have you there.
My dad's like, you should buy some of the club, and I'm like, yeah. No. I'm like,
isn't that at least part of the plot of Succession as well? I'm pretty sure
probably.
They buy Hibs or Hearts. I can't remember which.
Yeah, probably. But yeah.
Nice. Well, okay. Next time you're in my neck of the woods, we're getting you into Easter Road, because that's got to absolutely happen. Inside the latest edition of Rock Sound magazine, read the first ever interview with one of the most talked about artists of the year, President. The mysterious masked artist speaks for the very first time to us ahead of his debut performance at Download Festival. So if you want to get your copy, head right now over to shop.rocksound.tv. We like to finish with 7 more slightly quicker ones. These are ones we ask absolutely everybody, okay? We call these the Big 7, all right? So, first one of these, name one song that will always make you cry, Calum.
Let Down by Radiohead, for sure, 100%.
That's a great Radiohead choice as well. Yeah. That's a brilliant, beautiful little song. Great answer. What 2 items can you never leave the house without?
I mean, everyone would say phone, right?
Everyone does say phone, that's true.
I mean, but that is true. So let's say phone and what's the other one I have on me right now?
Don't say keys. That's a boring one.
No, that's boring.
Yeah, passed again to the label building. Okay.
Like,
fair enough. Yep. Another
know.
common one, and you never know.
You never know.
You just never know. Top 3 tips for going to a festival.
Hydrate, shade, so like a hat, some sort of shawl, and don't be afraid to dance.
Oh, I like
Don't be afraid
that one.
to dance. Yeah.
That's a great shout. Don't be afraid to dance. Yeah. There's nothing worse than people looking too cool for school at a festival. Get involved. Have a bit of fun. Yeah. That's what we're all there for. Pick 4 people, alive or dead, to invite to a dream party.
A dream party. I'm just going to go straight the Beatles. The Beatles, prime Beatles. Like, I want as much tension in the band as possible. And maybe, I mean, Yoko Ono will probably be there too. So
I guess it depends what era of Beatles we're going for. Yeah, if we're wanting prime tension, then let it be.
She'd probably show up, I reckon. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, it'd be pretty fun. I mean, it's kind of basic question, but big Beatles guy, big Beatles fan.
Big Beatles fan. I liked when they got a little bit heavier. You know, Revolver's probably my type of album.
Yeah.
So I liked when they started to dig in a little bit.
Yeah,
that was fun.
I think Revolver and White Album.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
they're the ones.
How would you describe yourself in just 5 words?
Quiet.
Okay.
Introspective. Cheeky.
I like that.
Not serious. Is there a word for that?
Unserious. If that's not a word, we're having it.
Unserious, and also, I'll go gentle.
Yeah.
I'll go gentle. I feel like I'm pretty gentle.
Yeah, that's a nice balance as well. That's a lovely broad picture again. Yeah. Even tougher on this one though. How would your friends describe you in just 6 words?
In 6 words, annoying is definitely number 1. I mean, I'm just gonna big myself up here, but funny,
great,
hilarious. Yeah. I would say, what's the word? Like tardy, always late. Unresponsive via texts, and let's go with probably sleepy. I sleep a lot. I'm always sleeping.
Your friends would call you sleepy.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, always napping.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. You're a busy guy. You're traveling. You got to get your rest in where you can. I respect that. Final question for you. This is the one everyone struggles with. We call this the 7-song set list. You're only allowed to play 7 songs live for the rest of your days. Which ones are we going? You can have a bit of solo, a bit of 5 sauce, whatever you like.
All right. 100%. All right. Start with the big boys. She Looks So Perfect.
Right.
Or every day, She Looks So Perfect. Youngblood's going to end the set for sure.
Nice.
We're going to go with, let's go with Call Me When You Know Better from my album.
Very good.
And then we'll go with Jet Black Heart, because banger.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll go with Sunsetter from me. And then we'll go with No Shame, hey?
Oh, yes.
And then one more from my album, maybe 3 Swords.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good mix. Man, that is, I'll be honest, that's probably the quickest anyone's been able to do that question. Everyone always trouble you, just like, no, that's a banger, that's a banger, that's a banger.
In the vortex, just felt it, yeah.
Just in the zone.
Yeah.
Felt it.
I mean, I'd be happy with playing with any song, so.
Yeah, that's a very fair answer.
They're definitely the 7 for sure.
Very nice, very nicely done. Calum, it's always a pleasure to see you, man. Congrats on the record, genuinely. It sounds great. It's so nice to hear you playing in these slightly different styles, and just, long may it continue with getting to experiment there, do the band stuff. I just think it's such a nice balance for all you guys. But best of luck with that release. Can't wait to see what comes next with the band, and we'll catch up soon, all right?
Thank you.
Good to see you, man. Calum Hood, everybody. 7 of 30 is well and truly back, and you can see loads of episodes right now, including our first episode with Youngblood, a chat with The Warning, and of course with Mr. James Marriott. Just hit subscribe on the Rock Sound YouTube channel or find us wherever you get your podcasts.